Hi there. We are going to talk about Hurst Review. We are going to talk about the NGN, okay? Fact or fiction. We are going to put some statements up on the screen, and I want you to tell me, is that a fact or is that fiction? My name is Robin. I have been nursing for 29 years, and I have been a part-time instructor for 9 years with Hurst Review. Now, first, let's talk about that next gen NCLEX just for a minute. You will have 5 hours maximum testing time. You will take a minimum of 85 questions and a maximum of 150 questions. Now, do you want to know how you can pass the very first time? Well, let me tell you just a little bit about Hurst Review. Our company is different. Our founder, Marlene Hurst, she is a nurse. Throughout our company, you will find a nurse working in almost every department. So you see, we are a company that was built by nurses for nurses. We know exactly what you're going through. And 9 out of 10 students tell us they would recommend us to their friends. They have great success with Hurst and they want to share that. We love that number. It's one of our favorite numbers. Now, we have a 98% first try pass rate. If you do everything we ask you to do, you will enter the testing center with a 98% first try pass rate. Now, isn't that great news? We have been helping students for over 30 years pass the very first time. If you do not pass the first time, your odds of passing is going to decrease. And let me tell you a little bit more about that. The NCSBN tells us that your odds decrease to around 45 to 50%. Now, I don't know about you, but I never want to be put in that category. So let's pass it the very first time. Do you know what the purpose of this test is? You've already passed nursing school. You've done everything your instructors have asked you to do. You still have that dreaded NCLEX. It is a safety test, look right here, designed to protect the public from unsafe nurses. Before they just hand you a license after you graduate and complete nursing school, they need to know that you can keep everyone safe and alive, okay? That's the name of the game with the NCLEX. Can you keep yourself safe? Can you keep your coworkers safe? What about your clients? You have got to show them that you know how to keep everyone safe and alive before you get that license in your hand. And y'all, this test is unlike your nursing school test. It's different. But Hurst Review will prepare you for that. This is year 36 for Hurst Review. So Hurst Review can help you master this NCLEX. Now, the next slide is a slide out of our workbook. Once you sign up for a Hurst Review, you will receive this fabulous workbook, and the students love it. The only way to get it, though, is to sign up for a review. We do not sell those separately. It has fill in the blanks. That's going to keep you engaged with your instructor, right? You're going to be busy filling in all those blanks in your workbook, and when it's complete, that book will become your study guide, and that's what you will use to prepare for the NCLEX. It has all kinds of things in there, lab values, tips, and strategies, and all of that is integrated into each topic that the instructor is talking about at that moment in time. All right, are you ready? My friend Thomas is going to put a statement on the screen, and I want you to tell me, is that a fact or is that fiction? So here we go. Every candidate will receive 3 scored NGN case studies that contain 6 questions each. Fact or fiction? Tell me in the chat box, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Every candidate will receive 3 scored NGN case studies that contain 6 questions in each of them. That is a fact. Good job. That's right. That's a fact. Listen, the new NGN will consist of those case studies, and every candidate will receive 3 scored NGN case studies with 6 questions on each one of those. All right, our next statement. PN, VN test takers will have different minimum and maximum question counts than the RN test takers. Is that a fact or is that fiction? What do you think about that? Tell me about this one. I'm watching y'all. Let's see. Yes, that is fiction. Hey, all candidates will have a minimum of 85 and a maximum of 150, okay? So that is fiction. All right, let's look at our next one. The number of pilot questions a candidate will receive will vary based on test taker performance. Is that a fact or is that fiction, y'all? The number of pilot questions that a candidate will receive will vary based on test taker performance. What do you think about that one? Watch these answers come across. What do you guys say? That one is fiction. Hey, it is a universal exam, right? So this one is fiction. All candidates will have 15 pilot questions. Now, you will not know which ones are pilot, will you? So you need to answer these all to the best of your ability. These are questions that they are testing. They want to see, they're getting more data from the way you answer those to see if it's going to make a good question to add to their pool of questions, okay? They do not count for you or they do not count against you. Okay, look at our next statement. Partial scoring will be used for NGN questions and select all that apply questions on the new exam. Y'all, is that a fact or is that fiction? What do you think about that one? What have you heard about that partial scoring? That is a fact. That's right. Yay, you will now receive some partial scoring. Finally, right? They're going to give some partial scoring on some of these. Okay, look at the next one. Some candidates will be randomly selected to take the entire exam. What do you think about that? Is that a fact or is that fiction? Some candidates will be randomly selected to take the entire exam. Fact or fiction? What y'all think? Well, that is fiction, right? Every question that you get on that exam, you will earn. It depends on how you answer your questions, right or wrong, okay? All right, so look at the next one. If I get multiple questions that are on the same topic, it means that I am missing that content. The computer is testing me further on that content. Is that a fact or is that fiction? What do y'all think about that one? Multiple questions on the same topic. That means I'm missing that content and the computer is testing me further on that content. Y'all, that is fiction. That's right. Good job. Yes, that is fiction. Each question is a standalone question. They can use the same content, though, to satisfy different client need categories. And there are 8 client need categories, and you'll need to satisfy all of those on the exam, okay? All right, let's see what we have next. The decreased number of questions available to me on the NCLEX due to the new NGN test plan will make the tests more difficult. Fact or fiction? What do you think? What do y'all think about that one? Is that a fact or is that fiction? Well, let me tell you, that is fact and fiction. It depends on you and how prepared you are. If you are prepared, it will be fiction, right? That's right. So it just depends on how prepared you are. All right, the NCLEX is easier at certain testing centers. Fact or fiction? What do you think about that? What do y'all think about that? The NCLEX is easier at certain testing centers. Fiction, right? It does not matter where you test. Remember, y'all, this is a universal exam. So it doesn't matter where you're testing. It is going to all be the same, right? The content will be the same. All righty. Due to the nursing shortage, you still must take the exam. but you will be more likely to pass because of the high demand for nurses. Is that a fact or is that fiction? What do y'all think about that statement? We know we have a nursing shortage, right? And you still have to take the nursing exam, but you will be more likely to pass because of the high demand for nurses. Now, what do you think? Fact or fiction? That is fiction. Good job. I like those answers. Fiction. Y'all, the NCLEX exists to protect the public from unsafe nurses, right? We have a high demand for nurses, and we know that. But you still must be deemed safe. Remember, the NCLEX is safety, safety, safety. It is all about keeping people safe and alive before they give you that license. All right, the next statement. Since COVID-19 caused an extraordinary health crisis, NCLEX candidates should expect an increase in NCLEX questions on this specific topic. What do you think about that? Fact or fiction? COVID-19, we know it caused an extraordinary health crisis, right? So, should you expect an increase in NCLEX questions on that topic? What do you think about that? That one's fiction. Well, why would you think that would be fiction? Well, y'all, there's just not enough information out there on that topic. We still have a lot of questions about COVID, don't we? We still have a lot. For COVID-19, you cannot answer questions about it. Now, if they use the word pandemic, okay, there are other pandemics besides COVID, right? So just if they use the word pandemic, don't assume it is COVID, okay? I want you to use your knowledge from infection control, okay, and answer those questions. Now, in the future, students will definitely get a lot of questions or more questions about COVID-19, but they are just not ready for that yet. Okay, I may receive no credit on some NGN and or select all that apply questions, even if I get them partially correct, fact or fiction. What do you think about that? That is, what do you think about that? Y'all, what do you think about that one? That is a fact. And let me tell you what we know about this partial scoring. When you think of partial scoring, you probably are thinking, well, as long as I get some of it right, I'm going to get some credit. But y'all, that is not how this partial scoring is going to work, okay? In this partial scoring, you will be penalized for every incorrect option that you select. Now, and or every correct option that you don't select. Example, let's pretend that you get a select all that apply question and it's got 6 options. Well, let's say that options 1, 3, and 5, the odd numbers, are correct and 2, 4, and 6 are incorrect. Let's say that you choose option number 1 as correct, okay? Well, the system is going to keep up with it, so you have 1 correct tally, okay? Well, let's say that you choose option number 2 and it is incorrect. What's going to happen is the system is going to tally the ones that you get correct, and then they're going to, as you move on to the next question, they're going to tally the ones that you didn't answer, the ones that you got correct and incorrect. So it is very possible that at the end that you could end up with no credit at all because they could cancel each other out, right? So just because it's saying that you will get some credit, remember, if you miss some of that, or you choose the wrong answer or don't select one that's there that you should select, that's going to count against you, okay? So that's how that partial scoring will work. Make sure you understand that, okay? Now, I'm going to go over some options that we have for you with Hurst Review. Hurst InStream, Hurst Live, and Hurst Now Plus. Hurst Now and Hurst Now Plus. What is that? That is a guided self-paced video, mobile friendly. You get those post-lecture quizzes, the fabulous Hurst workbook that I told you about, which you will get that with any review that you sign up for. Nurse, you get that Hurst Reviews Nurse Expert Support, and you're guaranteed success. Hurst InStream is a live streaming review. It's usually a 3-day review, and it is taught by Hurst's expert faculty. Convenient schedules. You need to check out the website and look at all those. You will get to interact with your instructor in real time, okay? You get the workbook, like I said. Your success is guaranteed. And there is a bonus with the Hurst InStream. Once you finish that review, you will have a pending access in your account, and whenever you choose to, you can go back and access that 14-day, it's a 14-day pending access, and rewatch that live review as many times as you want to in that 14-day period. It is a great promotion for the Hurst InStream. Hurst Elevate, listen, students asked for this and Hurst created it. What is that? Hurst Elevate, this is when students finish their review and they're like, I want someone to guide me through the study of Hurst. And that is how Elevate was created. Y'all, it is something extra special, and we call this your study buddy. Okay, and it is a companion course for any RN or PN review. You can add it to any of the Hurst reviews. It dramatically decreases test anxiety. Whew, how wonderful is that, right? It improves your clinical judgment skills, and it makes you be that nurse that the hospitals want to hire. It provides you with structured modules, video lectures, some high-level quizzes, and a lot of NCLEX study tips, okay? So don't forget, Hurst Elevate can be added to any of the Hurst reviews that you pick. Now offering PayPal and Google Pay, and coming soon, Apple Pay. The next slide is our free events. Make sure that you are attending all of these, mini reviews, NCLEX Challenge, that's where we go over those high-level NCLEX style questions. NCLEX 101, that information that every nursing student needs to know before they go sit for their exam. Check it out at hurstreview.com/free-events, QR code right there. Make sure you're following Hurst Review on all social media outlets. You do not want to miss a thing. My friend Ashley and Sarah, they will keep you up to date on everything going on in the Hurst world, the NCLEX world. They even have a podcast you need to check out. Okay, free 2025. Write that down. That is a discount code that gets you $40 off of InStream. It gets you $25 off of Hurst Now Plus, which includes Elevate, or Acid Base Essentials. What is Acid Base Essentials? A 4-part series. If you struggle with acid base, this product is for you. It breaks it down and makes it easy for you to understand. Check it out, hurstreview.com. There's our home office phone number. If you have questions, there is someone here eagerly waiting to answer those. All right, I want you to make sure that you come back and see us. Follow Hurst Review on all social media. We do free questions. We go over NCLEX style questions for you. So make sure that you're following along and you're not missing any of that content. We sure would love to see you again real soon. I want you to stay safe, okay? See you again soon. Bye for now.